Hi survivors, this is me Prepper Zan reporting to you. Hope everybody is doing well because what's going on in the world is not. Now, the U.S. places up to 8,500 troops on alert for possible deployment to Eastern Europe amid Russia tensions. I was looking at some of the briefing that the Pentagon, they did a live briefing today, but I'm going to read you guys this article so we can see what's going on and what they say what's going on, because I mean it's just so much going on. But it would just be wise for us to be a step ahead of the game and knowing that way we know how to properly plan. So it says as many as 8,500 U.S. troops have been put on heightened alert for a possible deployment to Eastern Europe as Russian troops mass on Ukraine's border. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said Monday, which is today. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd issued the prepare to deploy orders at the direction of the President of the United States, the latest step the U.S. has taken to prepare for a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine that officials have warned could be imminent. Kirby said that the bulk of U.S. troops placed on heightened alert were intended to bolster NATO's quick response force, but added they would be postured to be ready for any other contingencies as well. As of Monday afternoon, no final decision to deploy the troops had been made, Kirby emphasized. The United States has taken steps to heighten the readiness of its forces at home and abroad, so they are prepared to respond to a range of contingencies, including support to the NATO response force if it is activated, Kirby said. He noted the NATO response force comprises around 40,000 multinational troops. Early on today, CNN reported the administration was in the final steps of identifying specific, I've always had a hard time saying that word, military units it wants to send to Eastern Europe, according to multiple U.S. and defense officials. The administration discussed options for bolstering U.S. troop levels in the Baltics and Eastern Europe with his top military officials during a briefing at Camp David on Saturday, according to a senior official. The goal of sending military reinforcements to Eastern Europe would be to provide deterrence and to reassure allies, and there's been no suggestion U.S. combat troops would deploy to Ukraine or take part in any combat roles. Kirby noted the U.S. does have military advisors in Ukraine. Kirby would not say where the U.S. troops might deploy, but said the U.S. has made it clear to the Eastern flank allies that we're prepared to bolster their capabilities if they need it. In the event of NATO's activation of the NRF or a deteriorating security environment, the United States will be in a position to rapidly deploy additional brigade combat teams, logistics, medical, aviation, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, transportation, and additional capabilities into Europe, Kirby said. The news comes amid U.S. warnings that a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine could be imminent. The State Department on Sunday reduced staffing at the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv, Ukraine, with the departure of non-essential staff and family members out of an abundance of caution. The President of the United States of America held calls with European leaders. He held an 80-minute secure video call with European leaders on Monday afternoon, which is today, which the White House said was part of the administration consultation and coordination with European allies in response to Russia's military backup. Biden told reporters at the White House there was totally anonymity with European leaders on the call. I had a very, very, very good meeting, he said. A White House readout of the call said the leaders discussed preparations to impose massive consequences and severe economic costs on Russia for such actions, as well as to reinforce security on NATO's eastern flank. Following the virtual meeting with the leaders of the U.S., France, Germany, Italy, Poland, the United Kingdom, and the European Union, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said, "We agree that any further aggression by Russia against Ukraine will have severe costs." So the President of the United States of America and his national security team have been refining military plans for all scenarios, including the option of sending troops to Eastern Europe ahead of a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine, the White House said Monday. White House press secretary said a decision to increase U.S. troops could come ahead of Russian forces moving across the Ukrainian border, but said such a move did not amount to a shift in the president's thinking. We have never ruled out the option of providing additional assistance in advance of an invasion. Those discussions have been ongoing, she said. Last week, the President of the United States of America said during a news conference, we're going to actually increase troop presence in Poland, in Romania, etc., and in fact, he moves. So when they go to quote, unquote, the President of this country and his staffers, which includes the press secretary, y'all know how I feel about that. And if you don't know, go back to previous videos. I just can't believe what they say. Now, I do believe what a lot of you say. And I had some of the survivors, this is all of our platform, not just mine, comment in the comment section. I think it was either the yesterday or day before yesterday. Y'all go back and read the comments. She has a family member who's in the Army, and they have already been, I think they've been sent out somewhere. She was explaining it to us. Y'all go back and read the comments. So this is real, and this is actually happening. And they're not telling us everything. Of course, they never do, or they lie, or they tell the truth. Well, they don't have the truth in them nowhere, I don't think. No type of honesty. But they keep us blinded to a lot of things, you guys. I think that we should just continue to take precaution, to continue to be prepped up, continue to be prayed up, most importantly, and just stay as ready as we possibly can, y'all. It's just unbelievable what these leaders are doing. I mean, it's to me, it's insane. It's insane. Everybody's out for more power, more greed, more control. Now more than ever, y'all, we should really be prepped up. More than ever. I mean, these days and times, we should be prepped up. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to let you guys go. When I first became aware of the prepping community here on YouTube, I had no idea it existed. I've always been the only prepper around me. Everybody else just always think, oh, Zan gonna have a whole bunch of canned goods, girl. She gonna have a whole bunch of water store. They used to like poke fun at me. But at the same time, when they got into a bad bond and them and their entire families had to come to my house, they was cracking open them canned goods I had in store. When they ran out of money because they spent up all their money on the wrong things, they started going through my stuff because I've always just had this gut feeling, and God always told me to have more than enough when it comes to food and water and medicines, and make sure you don't throw away things. These are kind of things when you're raised by elderly people, you just know. They say, oh no, you don't throw away food, you don't throw away this and that. Everything can be used for something. I was taught that even scraps, you don't throw away your scraps of food. You can feed them to the animals outside, to the birds, so I've always savaged things. So anyway, make a long story short, when I became aware of the prepping community in 2020, that was nobody but God. In January 2020, I went to one prepping channel. He was talking about what was coming to America, about what was going on in Wuhan. I paid attention to him like I had never paid attention to anybody in my life. He was saying, if you don't have enough food, go get more food. I'd already had a lot of food, but I didn't have as much as I do now. He said, get ready. This illness is coming. If it's not here already, there's going to be long lines around the corner. People are going to be dying. He was not fear-mongering. He was stating facts. He said people are going to be dying left and right. He said the economy, everything's going to shut down. This man predicted this was going to happen way before it happened. I listened to him. As soon as that video was over, I ran to the grocery store. Got in my car, went to the grocery store, stacked up on all kinds of things that I still have to this day. Called up the doctor, started getting more antibiotics. He started telling us everything to do. He said, get you some antibiotics, get this, get that, all kinds of medication. I started calling the doctor, started getting all this stuff lined up, stacking up with all types of water, getting my 40-gallon barrels, all kinds of stuff. I just started ordering stuff, N95 masks, everything. I just believed everything. I was scared, but it was scared in a good way. I just believed everything he said. It was the Spirit of God. I'm telling you, it was talking through this man. And I went and got all this stuff. Can I tell you, by the time March hit, and I told people around me, they didn't listen. This one guy listened to me because he was with me. And I was working, and he was working with me. And every time I had a chance, by five times, 3 or 4 times in a day, when we'll pass by a grocery store or a thrift store, I stop and I go. He asked me, he said, "What are you getting all this stuff for?" He said, "You keep getting all this food, you keep getting all these things." And I told him. He started doing the same thing I was doing. Lo and behold, March hit. When they finally wanted to put it out there in the news, because it was already in America by then, long lines, just like the man told me. It was hardly anything in the market, just like the prepper had told us. So I'm telling y'all, I'm saying that to say this. You can't always think that people are fear-mongering. Some of these channels really do. I'm not one of them. A lot of us are just relating messages that God wants us to inform y'all. If it scare you in a good way for you to go and get the thing, now it's really bad. So I'm telling you, it's way worse than it was then, as far as these viruses, these illnesses, as far as the supply chain. The supply chain wasn't in the shape it's in now. So now there's major, major scarcities. Y'all, if you don't have what you need that should be your main focus. Getting the things that you need, learning survivalism skills, and getting your body and mind together. Y'all, it's like we're at war, seriously. This is not the time. I mean, I be having people saying all the, with the fear. I don't care anymore as far as people, because people are going to say things. But I hear a lot of these people, not just my channel. I hear so many of these channels talking about, they're fear mongering. Oh, you just trying to scare people. Y'all, it's not about scaring people. This is really happening. Get your stuff together. Start taking inventory and notes of what you have and what you don't have, what you can get and what you can make and produce for yourself. How to start fires, how to keep cool and when it's hot, how to go out here and get these medicinal plants, where to go, how to find water, where's the nearest ocean or lake or river near you. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, this is the time, you guys. So I'm not gonna keep on ranting, going on and on, but I'm just telling y'all, it's so much going on. And I don't doubt if we're going to war. I don't doubt that. I don't wish it, because so many people are hurt when that occurs. But I don't doubt it. I don't put it past these Democrats. The damage they've done in just the 1 year they've been in office, y'all, it's gonna follow for a long time. They have done extreme damage. I don't even think people realize the severity of it. We all know that there's a problem, but the severity of what these people have done going to have long-lasting effects. And unfortunately, the bad thing about it is they still in office. They still got 3 more years. Stay prepped. Stay prayed up. Prayed up. Watch this world. Watch the weather. Smell your water. Purify your water before you use it. Follow me on my other platforms. The links will be in the description. I have survivalism classes every week on Patreon. I have raw and unfiltered cut commentary and content on Patreon, because a lot of things I can't say here. I've gotten like 4 strikes. I don't know when they're going to take this platform down. I have things to keep you warm in the winter if you don't have a generator. It's really cheap things for those who just don't have it like that. A lot of us just don't have it like that, where we can afford generators and things like that. And also some land for sale for those who are in Texas who are looking for land. And keep surviving. SandHero.com.